we get going, please hit the subscribe button and you'll be notified anytime a new video comes out. With that being said, let's get into it. So today we are talking about recapping the 2024 NFL Draft. The portion we're going to talk about today is going to be the NFC North teams. So with that being said, I brought in the whiteboard so that I could ask my lovely wife, as we're going through positions, if she could point out what positions are on the board. So let's test her with a couple here, okay? So O is offense, or oval in this case, is offense. X is our defense, okay?
Okay.
So we talk a lot about quarterbacks. So if I ask you where the quarterback is, where is he at?
Wait, offense, quarterback. Quarterback?
Quarterback.
Quarterback.
Right behind the center.
Well, then who are those guys?
Those are the running backs. You got a full.
Okay.
And who are the guys on the outsides? You know this?
Ends.
The receivers. You're right.
Yeah.
And on the defensive side, you know what these guys are called here?
The line.
The defensive line.
Okay.
I'll give you a point for that.
Thank you.
And I quizzed you last night, but the last line of defense, the last person back there is called what?
Safety.
Nice. You paid attention. So we're going to start with Chicago. So the Bears, of course, have the number one pick as they chose
Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams. I'm not cheering because the Bears got him. I'm cheering because she got it right.
It's the only one I'll get.
Kills me that the Bears got the number one pick, but that's okay. So Caleb Williams, he went number one, and then they had the number 9 pick as well. So they were able to come back around and take Rome Odunze. Hope I'm saying that right. The wide receiver from Washington. So I mean, what a way to start off the draft for the Chicago Bears, unfortunately. So the Bears also filled positions for the offensive tackle, the punter, and the edge rusher. So, in my opinion, the Bears actually did a pretty good job here because they had 2 top picks. So, I'm actually going to give the Bears an A+. So, kills me to say that. But the Bears got an A+. So,
gotta give credit where credit is due.
With that being said, when I say the phrase edge rusher, where would you find the edge rusher on the defense? I'll give you that.
These guys?
Yes. Point for you. Wow.
I'm racking them up.
Okay, nice work. Okay, now let's move on to the Detroit Lions, who unfortunately also had a decent draft. So Detroit did add to their biggest need, which was the cornerback position. This last year, they were ranked 30th in the NFL for coverage. So obviously it was a need that they had to fulfill. And the reality is they picked up 2 of them back-to-back, which I felt was a pretty good draft choice for them. So they went with the first cornerback of Terrion Arnold from Alabama, who I think can be a stud. And then Enos Rakestraw Jr. from Missouri, who's got plenty of upside potential. So for them, I think that they're both really strong adds for Detroit, unfortunately. Should certainly help that weaker backfield that they had last year. But I expect both of them to have immediate impacts with the team, unfortunately, in 2024. So other positions that Detroit came up with to fill, they did an offensive tackle, a safety, a defensive tackle, and an offensive guard position. So I do actually give Detroit an A because they fulfilled some pretty strong positions, and overall I felt like they had a pretty strong draft, unfortunately. Now for the misery of the Green Bay Crappers. Yep. I agree.
That's all I know is that we're not supposed to like them.
You're right.
Never cheer for the Packers.
Right. So the Packers added nicely to their offensive line with Jordan Morgan out of Arizona. I think he's going to be a stallion, unfortunately, for them on the offensive line. They also had a couple of great second-round picks with Edgerrin Cooper, a linebacker from Texas A&M, and then safety Javon Bullard out of Georgia, which I absolutely love that pick. Unfortunately, I don't love that he's a Packer. But the Packers have picked up a ton of picks in 2024. They end up with picking up 11 players.
Oh, my gosh.
11 players.
Did they need 11?
So, they had 11 picks, so you take 11. All right, another player that, unfortunately, the Packers have picked up, which was Michael Pratt of Tulane, the quarterback. He's got a ton of upside, and it kills me that he went to the Packers. I really was hoping the Vikings would pick him up later on. I mean, he's got some work to be done, but in a couple of years, I think he can be a real stud. All right, overall, I'm giving the Packers a B for their draft picks in 2024. But they got a ton of picks. Now for our beloved Minnesota Vikings. Round one for the Vikes generated J.J. McCarthy. Woo. Well, where's the quarterback? Okay.
Oh, I erased our quarterback.
And then they had to move up to the 10th spot to get him from the 11th spot just because they were afraid that the Broncos were going to sneak up ahead of them because the Broncos had a need as well. So especially after the Atlanta Falcons, for whatever reason, took a quarterback at number 8 with Penix Jr. So that one still baffles me. They're able to jump up to the 17th position and actually take Dallas Turner, which I think is a phenomenal defensive end. But he can play coverage and he can get after the quarterback. So I love that pick. So the Vikes also went through and fulfilled other needs. They picked up another 5 players between rounds 4 and 7 because they didn't have a lot of draft capital remaining after they traded up for the 10th spot and the 17th spot, of course. So overall, I'm grading the Vikings at a B. I wish I could say it's an A+, but I really feel like it's a B. But we'll see how it turns out for J.J. McCarthy in the next couple of years and see if he turns into the stud that they're hoping for. So overall, I think the NFC teams actually did a really good job enhancing their needs. It's going to be fun to see what happens this year and see who stands out and who really doesn't. So please leave a comment and let us know which team in the North had the best draft in your opinion. Please hit the subscribe button.